This is the worst way to start a podcast, but this is the way I'm gonna do it. With my hangover, because let me be honest with y'all, I'm hungover. I'm drinking the past 2 days. Today feel better than yesterday, which is weird, especially when I go on these binges. The worst thing about me and hangovers is the fact of I'm just annoyed and sleepy. Like that's it. With me, I don't have headaches. I don't, feel just exhausted. I just feel tired and annoyed more than anything, but that's just me. So maybe I'm drunk 24/7, but we here. Um, this is pre-recorded just because scheduling reasons as usual. And then I haven't did like a solo thing since WrestleMania, but that was only like 20 minutes or so. Don't know how long this will be, but we here. This ain't part of the banks just because that's about to be a separate thing. Me and Davis come up with a name for when we do these solo. Well, he got Davis featuring Davis, but with me, it's more so just me being solo. Um, and just recording something, just in case, because us, unlike, most podcasters, I still have a job. Well, all the podcasters I know, they have jobs as well, but I got a job outside of this, so I got to make sure everything gets taken care of financially on my end. Shouts out to the Spade Gold Chain. Anyhow, we here. I don't need to do an introduction. Y'all know who I am. If you don't know, it's Banks. Your first time listening. We do have some new subscribers on the channel. Shouts out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell people. Trying to get the numbers way up. I think we're at like 370 right now. I'm trying to get a dog. Like my goal, really. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but my goal is to at least get to 500 by June. Like I've been trying to, grind my gears, so to speak, just to figure out how I'm gonna get to 500 by June. Dude, I don't like where the numbers are. I want it to keep going up. That's everything involved in my life. Like again, I want this to be the last year. I have to work a job, and I feel like this is the last year I could work a job because mentally it's just like I'm over it, bro. Like as of this recording now, I'll be working every day until Tuesday. That's why I'm doing this just in case we can't go live on Tuesday, so I'll still get some. So again, this is pre-recorded. If you didn't hear me the first time, but I definitely gotten to that point as I'm getting older. Like, yeah, I don't want to work a job. You get to a point where like I've been off for a week and it's beautiful. When you off for a week and you actually have money to do stuff, you're like, man, get used to this. Feels like the pandemic again. Feels like, the time where I can just sit around, have money, eat. I feel like I'm trying to survive and I could just do stuff. And it feels great. And I need that for life, but I just need a little more money because it's always stuff to handle. So, by the way, y'all catching me without a hat. I really left the house without a hat this time. I was like, yeah, I don't need a hat. Really, because this was like impromptu. I was actually getting ready to head out of town, and then plans got changed, so that won't be till this evening. So I was like, why not work instead of sitting around watching X-Men '97, which I'll probably talk about, next time I do one of these solo episodes because I love it. Like that's show of the year besides Ted. I feel like we're about to have Stone Cold versus The Rock, which I watched last night for WrestleMania 17 masterpiece. One of the greatest matches in pro wrestling history. Might be top three. But it's like a Rock versus Stone Cold based off of 2010 and X-Men '97. Great show. I'm on episode 4. Even though I know what happens on episode 5, it's all good. Like I'm not gonna spoil it for y'all, but the character is kind of like I don't really care, bro. I almost just spoiled it right now by saying his name, but it is what it is. They made gumbo out of him. Anyhow, so instead of just sitting around, I was like, bro, let me just do an episode just in case. Put this in the tuck. So pause. And then there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that I do actually want to talk about. So we're gonna talk a little bit about coming up on this show. I'm gonna talk about what happened after Tribal Chief lost the title. How I feel about the current state of wrestling. the WNBA upcoming season, which I think could be their most profitable season. And then I'll end it with the NBA playoffs, a preview of that and what I think is going to happen. And then I'll still stand on my, stone, so to speak, of how I feel about the season as a whole. But the playoffs, you can't fail the playoffs. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. Um, Otherwise than that, I haven't been doing anything. If people are interested, who gives a fuck? I haven't been doing anything but trying to get my body ready for, the upcoming week falls. Just because, you know, outside of just lifting weights, that's why I need a game console. I always tell people like I need to be playing video games at all times just because with me, I'll just lift weights and find stuff to watch. That's all I'll do. Like yesterday, I I did two a days. Like I'm doing two a days right now because I'm trying to get in shape for something. I'll just say that. But even after that, it was like, damn, what else is there to do? Watch the NBA draft, which I was gonna do anyway. Even if I didn't work out twice a day, I still want to do that. But the fact of the matter is, I still did it regardless. So that's just how it is. And then I watch the WNBA instead of wrestling, and then people say I'm crazy. Hey man, sometimes if you don't believe in the water, don't mean it ain't there. I don't even know what that means. But look, let's get into it, man. I'll actually start with this. So I told Davis, I feel like that's a word. So all of a sudden, your champion, who just had a match 2 weeks ago, and I mean, obviously injuries can happen anytime. They don't really do house shows as much as they used to. But your women's champion being Rhea Ripley, pressure, is hurt, and now she got to relinquish the title. And again, injuries can happen, whether it be house shows or workout injuries. But she seemed like she was fine. And then now she relinquishing the title. I think more than ever, I'm starting to call BS. I'm really starting to think it's a work. Like that's what I told David. So I was like, wait, what? How is she relinquishing the title? And then he had a good point, and he'll talk about it how why they're not relinquishing the title when they're not defending it for like a month or two, which makes more sense. And it's just like that makes sense. It like all right, cool, you're not defending the title. It's just like boxing. Like after a while, if you don't defend the title, you got to give it up. So with this, I feel like it's the same way that Davis is saying, and I feel like with injuries, like really this injury just all of a sudden happened. And again, I know stuff can happen, but it's like, huh? Like remember the days where champions used to just lose the title, and then they were like they got hurt, and it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple of years ago they was doing that. Oh, you got hurt. Okay, cool. We're just gonna put the title on somebody else. Why don't they just do that? If she was that hurt, then I understand why you can't do it. But really, all of a sudden her arm in a sling. I was like, when I saw that, because again, and I'll get to that. I haven't watched. I watched Raw last week, and I was just like, yeah, I'm cool. As soon as they gave that whole speech to Cody Rhodes for fucking 30 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'm cool, bro. I don't need to watch this no more. And I'll get to that reason. And then SmackDown just saw a little bit of that, like a preview of what happened this past week. I wasn't even watching that. I just kind of like just tuned out, and that happens every year. It's just like after WrestleMania, I'm just like, yeah, I'm cool, bro. I'll come back in August. I'll come back near SummerSlam and start watching. Same thing happened with me last week. And then when SmackDown came on, I was just like, and then Davis was like, oh, Tama Tonga appeared. Okay. I don't, cool. And they jumped in Jimmy Uso. It's like, I don't get it. Wouldn't he actually be OG now because Roman Reigns isn't there? But Solo was the OG. He the real tribal chief. And then Tama Tonga teaming with him. And then when Jacob come, he gonna team with him. I don't get it. But they like I keep saying they have no idea what they're doing as far as booking. And this shows because why is she just giving up the title? Again, she's hurt, but it's like when did this injury happen? And maybe I need to do my research instead of just talking about it right now because I'm coming in not doing research, but it's still like really that's what we doing. All right, cool, I guess. So I guess now they're about to do a tournament where they're about to have Liv Morgan go over and be champion. And then it's really gonna be like, okay, you better off unless y'all about to do the draft. And I think the draft is this upcoming week or next week. As of this recording, probably already passed, but I think it's next week if I'm not mistaken. Unless Becky is going to SmackDown, why not just give her the title because she has a rematch clause anyway, or something that used to be a rematch clause. So I don't get it, and I feel like they're doing this a lot, or they haven't done it in a while. But injuries do happen. But we look at relinquishing the title, and just like, all right, cool. But again, like I keep saying, Triple H has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't know how to book. I told Davis he all up in the videos too. Like y'all know this. Like I understand he's supposed to be like the guy in charge, but it's starting to feel like old Triple H when he was putting himself over, booking himself to win all the time. He just all up in the videos. Like I'm not tripping when I said that. And I told Davis that I'm like, dog, why is he all up in the videos? And Davis is the first person to point it out. He just there all the time. And it's like, dude, I know you like the chief or whatever the case may be. I don't know his actual title, but you just always there. I also know he jaded. He know he wouldn't have a match against CM Punk. CM Punk and The Rock, pardon me. I know he hurt. He can't have that match with either one of them and put himself over at all. Like I know he wants to have those matches. But just the fact, like he's always in the videos, and it's like, dude, really? You got another announcement? Starting to feel like Tony Khan. But again, if I start talking about how WWE does more things that AEW does, then I look like a bad guy or I look like pro AEW. And to be honest, I have been pro AEW. This year has been better in AEW since than WWE. I mean, Tony Khan can't book either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit up here and advocate like he's a better booker. Obviously, that whole tape thing was idiotic. I don't know if they're gonna have a case on their hands, but that was still stupid. So I'm not gonna sit up here and advocate for Tony Khan. I'm just saying I find AEW this year more entertaining than WWE, and that's what it is. I've been liking the matches better. I've been liking storylines have always been the same thing. Chris Jericho, this fat bastard, he just always putting himself over. He want to be all up in the videos too. Him and his ego. It's the reason why him and Triple H don't get along. But and Chris Jericho is a better worker than Triple H and overall entertainer. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you got to go. You should have been left years ago, but now for sure. Because there's always a new talent you want to have a match with it. This new talent probably don't really care as much as you do. You trying to get on the Caribbean hook. Because yeah, this hook starting to look funny in a light year. If he don't have no advanced, growth, pause in his workability this year, it's over. But again, the thing Tony Khan did with the video was idiotic, but also what they're doing in WWE just doesn't make any sense. So, and then again, I'll get to that later on. There's too many sports coming on. Like I forgot the WNBA starts next month, and then we got the NBA playoffs. But really, I said it. The moment that Roman Reigns lost the title, it was kind of like done for me. Does he need the title? I think it adds that extra kind of like boss, so to speak. Like if The Rock is final boss, then it's just like I guess Roman Reigns supposed to be the semi-final boss. You got like Streets of Rage and all those side scroller games I grew up playing. You always had a boss before the boss. It'd be like his main henchman. And then so after he lost the title, it just felt like, all right, at least for me, like the whole Roman. I said it again. If the old man was there, Roman keeping that title and he breaking Hulk Hogan's record without question. It would have been a Rock versus Roman Reigns night one, and that's all y'all get. Y'all ain't getting no tag match. Y'all ain't getting no Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes match, and in a sense, now that I'm thinking about it, it was supposed to be tribal rules, but everything kind of favored. Thinking about now, everything kind of favored Cody in a sense. I just thought about that. Like it's supposed to favor Roman Reigns, but they didn't really have anything that was supposed to help Roman Reigns look unbeatable. It wasn't like cheating. It was Solo coming out doing his solo stuff. But people still helped out for Cody. I just thought about that. So y'all didn't try to do no special guest referee. Y'all didn't throw no weapons into the match. The match wasn't even good. Like since that happened, this would be 2 weeks. This upcoming weekend or whenever this recording comes out, it'll be 2 weeks. And it just I thought about that match and I told Davis, like, dude, I'll probably never watch that match again. Like I might watch like the highlights of it, but I have no intention of watching that match. Now everybody knows how I feel about Cody Rhodes. I've never been a big fan. Never. Ever. Dashing, Stardust, ROH when he appeared flicking people off, New Japan, never been a fan of him. I understand why they had to put the title, or they didn't have to, but I understand why they went ahead and put the title on him. Number one, they got bullied by the fans. Let's be honest. We want Cody. I ain't forget that wasn't that long. And people were like, this is bullshit. This doesn't make sense. Again, if the old man was there, he wouldn't give a damn. I'll get that right versus Roman match and be happy with it. And that's just what it is. And I think that would have been great. But they had to do, I guess, what's best for business and put the title on Cody. Yeah, he's selling merch. I don't know if he's selling more merch than Roman, but I understand why they did it. But for me, again, it just doesn't do anything. And then you took the it guy and you put the guy in his place. Pause. Like Roman Reigns is the it guy. Roman Reigns, that's once in a lifetime. I just had to talk with somebody, and I said he just made himself, even after losing the title, the top one of the top five greatest WWE workers of all time. Because you can't tell me after he left last week, and it's been times the past couple months where he's left, and he'll come back, he'll cut a promo or something, but then you'll be like, oh shit, he gonna show up. I gotta be at the shows. Now that he basically on his sabbatical hiatus, it just it's nothing. It's just nothing there. And then now, of course, they about to line up opponents for Cody Rhodes. Cool. You're gonna get good wrestling matches like AJ Styles versus Cody. I'll watch that. If Kevin Owens turn heel, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. But then after that, Randy Orton if they turn him heel versus Cody Rhodes. That's a pretty good lineup. But then it's like, all right, after he beats everybody, what's next? And that's what I keep saying. I think it's gonna get to a point where people are gonna be like, all right, cool. What else? You cutting promos talking about how, you're a fighting champion or whatever the case may be, but how many people really don't care about that? And do people really care about, there's no sympathy for winners, but do people care after you win? So now your story is over, but it's like, and then also, The Rock saying that our story will continue. So then now we got that situation coming up, and whatever he put in his hand, pause. You know, I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's the keys to Jabroni Boulevard, or Know Your Role Lane, or it's keys to the Poontang Pie Factory. I don't know. The SmackDown Hotel. He's the owner of the SmackDown Hotel. Maybe that's what it is. The keys to that. But regardless, it's just like I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it right now. Maybe just because my mindset it just set on the sports that's coming up. Like the MLB is on right now. Baseball is on. Um, and it's basketball. And basketball is coming to the end as far as the NBA in a month and a half. Well, basically at this point, like 2 months ish. That's coming to the end. And at the same time, the WNBA, like I said, I'm gonna talk about is coming up next month. which is the WNBA 2024 season. So as of this recording, last night was the draft. Probably the most anticipated draft in WNBA history by far. I won't break all down. I won't break down the draft picks, but I think, like I said before, these are the players that get the WNBA to the next level, as far as endorsement, sponsorship, money, etc. First, they need to fix their travel, just because, again, a lot of these women have horrible travel accommodations, and they ain't the smallest women. Some of these women are 6'4" tall, so they should have better accommodation to begin with. And overall, these bum ass, lazy NBA players who failed to entertain us this year have private jets and all that. Give the women private jets. Again, the NBA owns the WNBA. They should have more revenue going in, yes, because that's how it works. So business, if you're bringing in revenue, then we can do more. But I think now they have the individuals that are bringing in more revenue for them to get accommodated, and I think they should just do it in general. You know, so obviously, Kaden Clark went number one overall. I think that might be your Magic Johnson. That might be your Magic Johnson. Angel Reese might be your Larry Bird, so to speak. That ushers in that new era where we can get TV deals and money coming in. And that's what Larry Bird and Magic did before Jordan got there. I think people fail to realize before that everything was like pre-taped. So you had to watch it on your local station. They brought in TV deals so you could see most of the teams in your region. And that's what Magic and Bird did. I think now, like the Fever alone, they said they have 32 televised games, somewhere around that. 30 televised games. It's somewhere around that where now they're about to have like televised games. Never did they have that before, even when they got Leah Boston last year. And that combination with Leah Boston and Caitlin Clark, yeah, that's probably going to be three championships sooner than later. I think with the Aces, they got younger. They got a couple draft picks. Um, and then Becky, Becky being a coach. I still think they're in the league, and obviously they have one of the greatest players of all time. My wife, Asia Wilson, you feel me? With that combination, I think they can win a championship. But the Fever not that far off. Literally, it's three teams now that could win the title. Because the Liberty, I was like, all right, they might go back again, or Breonna Stewart and Sabrina. But the Liberty, the Aces, and the Fever are now in contention for a championship. The Chicago Sky with their two picks, besides Angel Reese, I think it's crazy. Her and I forgot her name, but she played for South Carolina, just won a national title. Obviously, both of them that front court, that's devastating. That's a hell of a lot of rebounds. That's a lot of inside out shoot. Inside, well, Angel Reese, because she could shoot the 12 to 16 foot jumper somewhere around that. And then you got the rebound. I forgot the girl's name, but she played for South Carolina. I'm blanking out. But still, so she can get on the boards. She can offensive rebound and defensive rebound. I'm trying to think who else is on that Sky team. I think Diamond is still on that team. So if it's them three on that team, I shouldn't look at their roster before we even started, or their projected roster. But them three on that team alone, if Diamond is still there, Diamond DeShields is still there, you got somebody that can slash at the hoop, and then you got rebound, and then you got an inside out score. So that might be four teams that can be in title contention. And I think that's good for what they got going on right now. But I think this upcoming season is definitely going to be the most watched WNBA season in history. I think it'll have way more fandom than it did before, obviously because of Caitlin Clark and these other players. I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm gonna be at some Sky games. How I'm gonna get there, I don't know. Whatever team they gonna play, when the schedule's released, I'll be there. Whether it's a home or away game, brother. If I got to take that flight to Chicago, as much as I love Chicago, be at the Sky game. I want to get my Angel Reese jersey like tomorrow anyway. I'll get that ASAP. But I will be at the games without question. But speaking of hoops, and this is the final topic for today, the NBA playoffs are starting as of this recording. I think the play-in tournament will be done by the time this comes out. As of right now, off the top of the head, the play-in tournament on the West is the Kings versus the Warriors. Lakers versus Pelicans. On the East, it's the Bulls versus the Hawks. If we lose to the Hawks, which strong possibility that could happen. And then on the East, damn, I forgot who else it was. Oh, the Heat versus the 76ers. And the only reason, at first I was like, really? The 76ers? But I had to remember Joel was out for a while. And they were like the second, third seed for a while. They were trending water even after he got hurt. And I mean, obviously he wouldn't got hurt. He would have definitely been the MVP this season. But that dumbass rule, again, this season has been the worst season in NBA history, and the rules are stupid as hell. Like, really? Because he got hurt, and he legit tried to play through it and got hurt some more. That takes him off the MVP conversation. And then I'm gonna say this: I grew up in the time where if you had the best record in the NBA or a good enough record in the West or the East, wherever you're playing, whatever conference you're playing in, that gets you the MVP. There is no reason why SGA should not be. The Thunder had the first record, the number one record, I think in the NBA, but definitely in the Western Conference for the first time since the 2012-2013 season. Now, I knew they were going to be great. Like, I've watched too many Thunder games. I haven't watched this many Thunder games since Russ left, which is 2019. If I'm not mistaken, he went to the Rockets. I haven't watched that many Thunder games in years. I've been watching the Thunder. I watched them in 2020. I'll say that. I'm tripping. When Chris Paul was on the team, him and Dennis Schroeder, I was watching, especially in that playing tournament. It was balling. Him and Lou Dirt, all three of them. Yeah, that was a good tandem. And I think Dennis was on that team. I might be tripping, but I know Lou Dirt, obviously, and Chris Paul was on. And that's like the last great Chris Paul season. But no, I'm tripping. 2021 when he got to the Suns and they got to the finals. But I will say, you know, he should be MVP being SGA. I don't know the stat lines off the top of my head. He's probably averaging 29. But what him and Chet are doing right now, early, and then what's the guy name from Australia? They got in trouble earlier this year. That plays the three. I forgot his name, but damn, I can't think of his name. But the Australian dude. But when he get a jumper, it's over. That's another. Besides Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, that's another 1-2 combination. It's It's SGA and Chet. Chet has not missed a game this season after being redshirt last year. He's going to be an all-star. I think he's going to be an all-NBA player probably soon this next season. All-star probably, but definitely next season he'll be all-NBA first team. Hell, he might be all-NBA first team this year. You could probably put him, it's an argument you could probably put him at second. Him and AD, since AD plays the five. But I think SGA is by far the MVP when you lock in the Western Conference, which is the toughest conference this year. The fact that the Timberwolves and the Nuggets are in the top three lets you know it is the changing of the guard. The Lakers being at the eighth seed locked in against the Pelicans at the seventh. I got the Lakers coming out that play-in tournament just because the Pelicans are a good team when Zion goes. But even when he's in cruise control, they still have this tendency where it's just like, all right, we're still going. We're still doing something. And I think that's why they become successful. I think that works well for them, but in the long haul, how much does it work out really? So I'm definitely going with the Lakers just because this regular conference too is I mean, this regular season, they've got beaten 3 times. Being the Pelicans by the Lakers. I mean, Anthony is again, when isn't he hurt? I mean, Nah, this season he's played pretty well. He hasn't been hurt a lot. But at the same time, you would like fucking this dude is a walking jinx, like just like the dude from Hey Arnold. I think he was called Jinx or whatever he was called from Hey Arnold. It's like dog, you just fucking walking Murphy's Law. As soon as stuff get going good, you go, oh, I'm hurt my back. Like, dude, nah, there's always something. Show up. Fuck it, I don't care if you're bad. Man, hell, with icy hot, Anthony. So yeah, I think even if he doesn't show up, I think the Pelicans lose in that playing tournament. D'Angelo Russell is back to playing well. Yeah, I ain't trying to get off this team. He playing like I don't want to get off this team. He's been playing like that the past 20 games or so since after the All Star game. Austin Reeves is still trying to, he got the money, he got the popularity now. He kind of is in cruise control mode. It's like, nah, bro, you got to go back to old Austin Reeves, and I think he might do that during the playoffs. Um, Warriors versus Kings. I had to think about this. I'm still going with the Warriors, even though I want to say the Kings. I'm going with the Warriors just simply based on Steph just probably just averaging like 30, just putting up 30 plus points on them. That's all it is to it. And then obviously, if we get the Lakers versus the Warriors in the next round to get that seventh, eighth seed, I think hmm, I want to say I'll just say Lakers. I think with the Warriors not having as good of a bench as the Lakers, even if Steph averages like 30 points, I still got the Lakers coming out. Again, if Anthony Davis could show up and his pussy stop hurting, he'll be fine. Hawks versus Bulls, and I'm just gonna talk about like the play in first round. Then when I come back, everything will be set, so I can talk more in depth about it. But Hawks versus Bulls, I think bro, I want to say my team, but I'm going with the Hawks. I know the Bulls. Fucking, they another Murphy's Law. Soon stuff keep going, it's like, all right, cool, we can win this. Something gonna happen, and there's no reason why we shouldn't. Just because the Hawks don't play no offense, they can score, but they play no offense. And I think Dejounte Murray and Trey Young, yeah, and Kobe White can't play defense. All he want to do is just score. Yeah, bro, we gonna lose to the Hawks, and then hopefully the Zach Levine's last season. Obviously he ain't there, but this is last season with the Bulls. Pretty sure get him up out of here. Hopefully we won't get rid of DeMar, but it's the Bulls. 76ers versus the Heat. I'm going with the 76ers. It might be a game seven. Everybody knows how the Heat gets in the playoffs and Jimmy Butler, but I still think, he can clamp up Tyrese. I think he could put them clamps on Tyrese. Bam is I don't think he can outstrength Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid is obviously taller than him. Joel Embiid's taller than most human beings on the planet. But I think I got the 76ers in that series. So, and then when they move on to the next round, if my projections is right, Hawks versus 76ers, by far going with the 76ers. So, yeah, I'll talk about the play-in. The first rounds, I can't think of it off the top of my head, and I don't want to be wrong, and I can't look at my research because I'm recording right here. But once those are in place, I'll talk about it even. First, we got to go through playing anyway, and then I might just do impromptu live and talk about it anyway. But that's really it for this. Um, I don't really have a go home segment this week. I'll just say shouts out to everybody that's working. I don't really have no cop out. Just wanted to put something else so everybody has something to tap into. Definitely try to do this again after the playing tournament happens. Oh, actually, go check me out on Oddball Podcast with Ben. Just did one of those episodes. We talked about AI having that little miniature golf statue or that trophy. Wasn't a statue. And what else we talked about? We talked a little bit about being T Mac marks. That's probably it. But otherwise than that, you already know. If you're here right now, thank you for being here. Thank you for the new subscribers. Like, tell people. Uh, we're trying to go live as of this recording this weekend. we'll see what happens. If not, definitely it'll be next weekend since I won't be working. And then if not, Davis to go live and you got me going live. So I got some content in the meantime. Till then.